Yes. So my request is please mute your mic, guys, all of you. Just cross check your mics and please mute your mics like previous class. Yes, all of you, please check your mics and mute it. Okay. Um, right. So before starting today's session, let's have a small look on the previous session. Right. Just a few minutes. So we'll go through the previous session and then we start the today's session. Okay. Right. So observe, guys. Yesterday we discussed mainly two things, right? Yesterday we discussed mainly two things. The first one is like about web application, right? And the second one is about Django history, right? Django history. These two things yesterday we covered, right? So in the web application, like we have seen what is front end, right? What is front end and what is back end, what is back end. These things yesterday we covered, right? And we covered the Django history. Just a few minutes we'll go through these two, and then we start the today's session. Okay, and still someone is not muted his mic. Just go through once, guys. Check once all of your mics. Someone still not muted. Right, right. So yesterday while discussing these two, I explained through the pictures these two, right? Just I open the pictures, same pictures, and just let's go through each one. Yesterday in the paint, I drawn the two pictures. Just I open the guys. I'm going to open the previous class. Right. Just observe, guys, here. So here we discussed about web application, right? In this case, and if you come down here, we discussed in the side it is there, right? So somewhere here we discussed about which one Django history, right? But here these two are not looking good, right? Due to some clumsy lines. That's why I open the another file. I open the another file where we have very neat diagrams. Right. Right. Now observe, guys, here. Just observe, guys, here. Observe, guys. So first of all, the question is what is website? What is a website? Right? What is website? Okay. So I give a simple definition here. It is an application. It is an application which runs over the web. Which runs over the web. It is an application which runs over the web, right? Over the web. Without web, this application will not run, right? That's why what is the definition of website? It is an application which runs over the web, right? Over the web. Now, this application has two ends. This application has two ends, right? Observe, guys, here. So it is the application. It is the application. In the last class, I have taken the example of YouTube, right? In the last class, I have taken the example of YouTube, right? So youtube.com. So as a user, we interact with the youtube.com, and behind the youtube.com, we have a YouTube server, right? We have the YouTube server. Okay. So here I have some videos now. I have some Django videos. Then what can I do? I open the youtube.com and I upload the videos, right? I upload the videos. So this is called post operation. This is called the post operation. After uploading the videos, then our videos will go to the YouTube server and save in the YouTube server, right? See, if they go to YouTube server and save in the YouTube server, fine. Later, the other person who wants to learn Django, then I take another user, second user, right? So what happens here? He will open the website, and in the search box he can type Django videos. Means he is going to get some data, right? He is doing the get operation and click enter. immediately the request goes to the server, same server, right? Same server. Wherever I posted the videos to the same server, now the request also going, right? Now the request going to the server. From there, it will bring the Django videos and displays to the user, right? So that this person can watch the videos and learn the subject. So if you observe guys here, some one user is doing the post operation, nothing but uploading the videos in this example, and the other user doing the get operation, nothing but he is fetching the videos to learn the subject. Okay, right? Because here each person, everyone has this interface in their mission, right? So in our mission, work in this website, this application, and then you can perform either post or get operations, right? Now, so for some time, forget about the second user, and that's why I have taken this box, right? I have taken this box. Let's see about only first user, okay? Because the same user can do post operation and also can do get operation also, right? That means I can upload my videos later. I can watch my videos also. Okay, right? I take the first user only. So now observe guys here. Now I'm going to talk about only this part only this part. Now, so here it is an application. Right? Now as a user, whatever we see on the browser, it is called front end. Means the end which is visible to user is called front end. Right? Next one, the end which is not visible to user and which is between the browser and server is called back end, right? Back end. All of observe guys here, front end and back end. Front end and back end. Front end means it is between the user and the website. Backend means website and the corresponding server. If I take the YouTube, then YouTube server. If I take the Facebook, then Facebook server. If I take the Google, then Google servers, like this. Okay, right. Now on the front end, then the question is how to develop this front end part. Now how to develop this back end part, right? So front end part is developed by using front end technologies. Observe guys here, the front end is developed by using front end technologies, are also called UI technologies. Right? So the front end technologies are HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, jQuery, DOM. These are called the front end technologies or UI technologies, right? So these all are the responsible of presentation layer of any website. These all are the responsible of presentation layer of any website. Suppose just observe guys here. Let us try. I'll try to show you same YouTube.com, right? YouTube.com. See here, this all is part of which one? Front end. See on the screen, whatever you are able to see is all is part of which one? Front end, right? Like these icons, right? These icons you can see here, right? These names, right? This you can see here, this YouTube and the red color button, something like this, right? And search box is there, and this like upload button, right? Camera, right? Bell, and this name is there. And here you can see set of rows, right? Row 1, row 2, row 3, right? This division of rows and this division of columns, right? See, there is a proper way of division of rows and columns. This is all responsible of which one? Responsible of only front end, right? Only front end. Okay, right. Next one. So then what about the back end? Right? How to develop the back end? Now we know how to develop the front end, right? Now my question is how to develop the back end? Right? So observe here on front end, if I type anything, I click enter, immediately the request goes to the server. and here it does the operations. The response comes like this. Response comes like this, right? So here this request operation and response operation, both the operations are handled by which one? Are handled by backend technologies. Both the request and response are responsible of which one? Backend technologies, right? For example, here, just observe now. I'm going to watch SQL Server videos, SQL Server by Narayana, right? SQL Server by Narayana, right? If I click enter, immediately, all of you observe guys here. Just observe now, right? If I click enter, immediately this request will go to the YouTube server, right? On the YouTube server, there are crores of videos are available. Out of crores of videos, it will take only SQL Server videos by Narayana and then display on the browser so that the user can watch the videos and learn the subject, right? Means now request and response both are performing here. Request and response both are performing. So this request and response and filter operations, these all are responsible of which one? Backend technologies. Now let us see here what are the backend technologies, right? So backend technologies are a combination of a language plus its corresponding framework and any one database So these three compulsory required to work with the backend part. What's first one? A language required and a framework required and a database required. So in our case, we are a Python developer. That's why we use the Python language. And the Python language supports a different number of frameworks. Out of all, the main framework is Django, and the second one is Flask. So here, Python, Django we can use, or Python Flask we can use. Any combination we can use. But nowadays we have more demand for which one? Python Django combination. And the third one, you can use any one database. So Python supports all databases. That's why we can use either MySQL database or Oracle database or MongoDB, PostgreSQL. A default database is there here. And default database is there. The default database name is, can anyone guess now? What is the default database name? The Django? Anyone? Anyone guess now?
SQLite.
Right. Yeah. Right. Very good. SQL ITE3. Right? It is the default database in the Django, right? So now what is the combination of combination? Python plus Django plus any one database, but mostly we go for MySQL database, right? These three we must not work as a backend part, right? So the person who knows who can work on only front-end technologies, a developer who is working on only front-end technologies, what we call him as a front-end developer. Or a developer who is working on only backend, like only these three, who is using only these three, then he is called the backend developer, right? So front-end developer, backend developer. But nowadays the companies are not preferring to take only either front-end developer or backend developer. What they want a single person. Who can work on both the front-end and backend technologies. Then that person, what we call as a full stack web developer. He is a developer who can work on the front-end part and the backend part. Then he is called a full stack web developer. Right? As a full stack web developer, you must know these front-end technologies, plus you must know Python, you must know Django, you must know any one database. These four you must require to work as a full stack web developer. You require UI technologies, you require a Python language, you require Django, and you require any one database like MySQL. These four combination, you can see now, I wrote already here. We required a Python, Django, MySQL, and UI. This four combination we required to work as a full stack web developer, right? Full stack web developer. And in the olden days, in previous years, like 5 years, 10 years ago, you get a mail. required front-end developer, required back-end developer, like this. But nowadays, we get the mail almost like a required full stack developer on Python, right? Like this. Or sometimes you get a mail like this. What is the title of the subject of the message? Mail Python developer required. They specify the name, which name? Only Python. Then you can think they did not mention Django, MySQL, UI, only Python is enough. See, this, in the subject they mentioned like this. What they mentioned, required Python developer. But if you open the mail, inside the mail, they can specify you must be strong on the front end. That means they included front-end technologies, and they may say you must be very good on the database. Means they included a database and the anyone framework. They include which one is not also included. However, if you read the entire mail compulsorily, these four required, right? That's why we should learn these four. Okay, right. One question came as part of this course, will you cover the front end, right? Guys, I'll give the reply for all the messages after a few minutes, okay? Whatever the doubt, you keep the message. But after a few minutes, I give the reply for all your doubts, okay? Right, thank you so much, guys. So, in this entire picture, we got our Django here. We got our Django. So now finally we can say that Django is a backend technology which is used to develop the backend of website. Django is a part of the one backend technology which is used to develop the one backend part of the website. Okay, fine. This is about which one, a web application and its parts, the backend, the front end, the full stack, all. Okay, that's what yesterday we have seen about this one. Now let us see few minutes about Django history also. Right? I think in this right, it's also there. Right. Okay. So a lot of observe, guys. When you talk about the Django initially started from 2003 onwards, guys. 2003 onwards. Okay. So the people who came yesterday, they can easily understand, because yesterday we discussed this one, right? Very clearly discussed. I drawn this picture yesterday. The people who are new today, they try to understand this one. I explain all the points step by step now. Okay. Plus, and also you can yesterday class video is there. That video I'll share you guys. Still, if you want, I take a separate session for the yesterday class. Again, I repeat again, I'm talking about the people who came today only, right? So you try to understand now, because I'm explaining what I explained
Excuse
yesterday.
me, sir. Sir, voice is not audible, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
My voice not
Sir,
audible.
yes, sir, not audible, sir.
All of you reply once, message once, my voice not audible to all the people.
Yes, sir. Now it is audible, sir.
Right. So I'm repeating it here, guys. The people who came today, they try to understand it. It's very simple. There is no problem. And after class, I can share you yesterday video. Plus, still, if you want, I can take a separate session about yesterday class. So you don't worry about previous class. Okay, fine. Now observe, guys, here. The Django started from which year? 2003 onwards, right? Just observe, guys, here. So there is an organization called Lawrence Journal World Organization, right? So it is the organization name, right? So in this organization, there are a lot of employees are there. Out of all the employees, there are 2 employees are there. Those names are Simon and Adrian. Both are called web developers or web programmers, right? The responsibility of both the people is creating and maintaining the websites. The responsibility of both the people is creating and maintaining the websites, right? What are the developers' names, guys, here? Simon and Andrian, right? Both are called web programmers or web developers. Okay, so while creating the websites, they are facing a problem. They are facing a problem. I'll tell you the problem now. They're facing a problem. While solving the problem, while solving their own problem, all of observe guys here. While solving their own problem, they developed a Django software. That's why you can say that Django started as an internal project in the Lawrence Journal World Organization. I repeat again, Django started as an internal project. Why internal project? They developed it to solve their own problem, right? So that's called to solve their own problem, right? Now let us see here what is their problem, what the problem they are facing, right? And before that one, just observe guys here. If you observe, all the websites are having some common factors, right? If you observe, if you take any number of websites, there are some common factors like admin is the common factor. So database is common factor in all the websites. Admin is the common factor in all the websites. Cache is the common factor in all the websites. Cookies is the common factor. Templates is the common factor. URLs is the common factor, right? Choose. There are so many are there. Like you can observe it here. Authentication is the common factor. Just authorization is the common factor, right? Authorization is common factor. Or you can take suppose okay, next one, role-based permissions. Role-based permissions is common factor. This is all we see guys, not part of the session. In part of our course duration, we can see how to apply the authentications, authorizations, role-based operations. This is all we cover, right? Next one, like security. These all are the common factors, and these all are required for any kind of website, right? Almost security. So these all are required for any kind of the website, okay? Any kind of the website, right? So now let us see their problem. What is their problem? Now observe guys here. They are trying to create one website now. One website. Just I have taken the name as a website one. Just I have taken the example name as a website one. Now they want to create a database part. They want to develop a database part. At the time, what they are doing, they are writing the code manually. Right? Later, they want admin part of admin component. Here also, they are writing code manually. Right? They want cache part. Here also, they are writing coding manual. Right? Means in all parts, they are writing coding manually. Means entire website they are writing manually. Means almost all code they are writing manually. In that case, I have taken an example. It is taking 12 months duration. It has taken 12 months duration. Now observe here website 2. So next one, later they want one more website. So in this case, here also this website also required one database. What they are doing here also they are writing the code again. Guys, observe now. Here also they are writing coding manually. That's why it's taking more time. Suppose in the previous project, database component has taken suppose 2 days time, for example. So here also it takes around 2 days, right? Suppose in the previous website, admin part has taken 1 day. It also takes admin part 1 day, almost, right? Same time only. So that's why same all components they're writing manually here. All components writing manually. It also takes around 12 months, right? Like this, they developed a number of websites, guys. Right now, so one day they thought out. They thought like this. So now onwards, we don't rewrite the code. Now onwards, we should be able to reuse the common components. That's what they thought. Then they have taken an empty framework. Then they observed all the websites, guys. Then in all the websites, they have seen what are the common factors. Those common factors, they compiled very well. They made as a predefined code, right? So DB, that database, they wrote the code. They defined the code here. Next, as part of the admin is the common in all the websites. So admin code they compiled and predefined here. Next one, cache is the right. Cache is there. cache code also they defined URLs. Suppose in all websites URLs is common. So URLs code also they defined here. This authentication, authorization, these are all common. They included here, right? All of you observe guys here. Here I'm going to show you two features now. Two features here, right? So what happened here? They included all the common factors, right? They included all of observe guys here. What's the point now? They included all common factors, right? All common factors. They included all common factors, right? Or you can say here all common factors. All of you observe guys now. All common factors included. All common factors included, right? Included. Or you can say that now. This framework is loaded. This framework is loaded completely with the which one common factors, right? I can say one more point here. Same only. It is loaded, right? Completely loaded, right? Loaded with common factors, or common components. All of you observe guys, these 2 points very important that we'll see after some time, right? So both are same only, but I use different words, right? But first one, it is all common factors are included. Second one, completely loaded with common factors. Both are same only. Okay, right? Now we have a framework. Right? We have a framework with all common factors. Now, by using these common factors, they want to create a new website. Now they are taking website name as a institute one website. In this one also they want the database code. They want the database, right? Then they are not writing the database code. If you observe the previous cases, they are writing the database code manually. But now they are not writing guys here. They are not writing. They are reusing from the which one framework. They are reusing. They want admin part. Here also they are reusing. They want caching framework. They are reusing. They want URLs. They are reusing. They want authentication. They are reusing here also. They want like role-based operations. They are reusing, right? Means almost 80% of project, 80% of code is reusing from the framework. And about this institute, right? It has some unique operation is there. This website has some unique operation. What is unique operation? Storing the student details, like storing the which one faculty details, or they are tracking the payment details. These operations are unique operations on this website only. These operations are not common for all kinds of websites. That's why these operations are not included in the framework, because these are the unique operations on this website, right? So like that here we add 20% code manually, around 20% code manually. 8% code is the default code. So here I wrote all code manually. That's why it has taken 12 months, right? But here I added only less code. That's why it has taken the less time. All of you guys here, it has taken the less time. Why less time? Because I added less code. I added very less code, right? Very less code. Okay, fine. Same. I taken one more website. Here also all code reusable code. And OLX means generally we store customer details, product details. Means we add less code, right? So finally it also takes the less time. Now the question is, let's observe here. Oh, this point is skipped. What's the point, guys? Tell me now. What's the point here? All of you? Tell me now. What's the point here? Reply now. What's the point I wrote here?
Common factors included.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes. All common
what's
factors.
The point I wrote here? That's the first point. Second point I wrote, right?
All
Completely loaded with common factors.
Right.
It is completely loaded
with common factors. Right. Completely loaded with common
Common
factors, right? Common factors. Common factors. Okay, common factors. Common factors, right? Common factors. Fine. So here it is taking the less time, right? Less time. Now let's see here advantages now. What are the advantages of this framework? Because it is taking the very less time, right? Less time. The first advantage is it takes less development time. It takes, you can observe, right? It is taking the less time. Why it is taking the less time, guys? Why it is taking the less time? Because we are adding the less code. As a developer, we are adding the less code. That's why it is taking the very less time, guys, compared to previous case. In the previous case, I added all the code. That's why it has taken the more time. But now I am adding the very less code. I am reusing the almost all code. That's why it takes a very less development time. Right? Next one. If it is the less development time, then automatically less cost only. Right? If it is the less time, automatically less cost only. Then it also takes very less time to maintain. Maintenance time. It is the maintenance time. Because why maintenance time less? My code is less code. That's why it takes very less time to maintain also. And the fourth one is it gives more productivity, guys. It gives more productivity. And the question is, what is the meaning of productivity? What is the meaning of productivity? Productivity means, all of you observe, guys, now. Productivity means getting more results within the less time and with the less cost is called productivity. Productivity means getting the more output, getting the more output within the less time with the less cost is called productivity. If you observe, guys, any business person, it may be small business or medium business or very big business. All business people internally, what they think, they try to invest less time, they try to invest a less amount, but expecting the more output, right? More output from the business. That's called productivity, right? So these are the some of the advantages of this framework. Now, these developers, all of you observe, guys, now, these developers are very happy with this framework because it is giving an excellent results on all kinds of websites. That's why these developers are very happy about this framework, right? Now they have a task. What is the task? To name this framework. Right? Now, actually, both the people like music very well. Both the people like music very well, right? So there was a famous guitarist. Someone is unmuted mic. Someone is unmuted mic. All of you check once. All of you check once. Someone is unmuted the mic. Right. So these two developers like music very well, and there was a famous guitarist in 90s, 40s, and 50s. Right? His name is called Django Reinhardt. Right? Django Reinhardt. Okay, that's why they named this framework as a Django framework or Django framework. Right? So this is how the name came. This name is taken from where? From guitarist, and his full name is Django Reinhardt, and he was a guitarist. Okay, so this all happened between 2003 to 2005. So later, all of you observe, guys, here most important point now. Later, both the people came out of this organization. They started a new organization. Its name is Django Software Foundation. Again, later, both the people came out of this organization. They started the new organization. That name is called the Django Software Foundation. Right? So it is a non-profitable and independent organization. DSF is a non-profitable and independent organization. That's why they released Django as a free and open source. From DSF, under DSF, they are releasing Django as a free and open source. Free and open source, right? Open source. Fine. So if you observe guys here, initially Django started under Lawrence Journal World Organization, but Django is maintaining currently under which one? DSF. Under DSF. Okay. So here there is an important point about Django. All of you observe now. Django started as an internal project, guys. Internal project in which one? Lawrence Journal World Organization is the most important, guys. Right? Django started as an internal project. Why internal project? Because they developed it to solve their problem. Right? Later, because of its more advantages and features, they want to release this one to the public as a free source. That's why they released as a free source to public. Okay, fine. Now we have seen the Django history and Django advantages. But now let's go to the today's session. All of you observe now, guys. Here, this is what yesterday we discussed very clearly, right? Now I repeat again about the new people who came today. Just I given the yesterday class now. Means just a recap I have given yesterday class recap. All of you observe now. Yesterday class recap I have given, right? And I share you YouTube video. Yesterday we discussed the class, same recorded. I share that video also. Right? Video. Still, if you want, I take a separate session about yesterday class. I take a separate session about which one? Yesterday class. You don't worry about yesterday class, guys. Means first class, right? Fine. The today's session. Let's go to the today's session, right? Now, so now let's see here the Django features, guys. Now we'll see Django features. After Django features, we'll see Django installation, guys. Very important. I'll show you installation manual. Everything I show you step by step. Right. Next one, we'll see here Django versions. Just a few minutes we'll discuss about Django versions. Then we'll see Django architecture. Right. Then we'll go for the one by one concepts. Right. In the architecture, we will discuss what is M, what is V, what is T. Is all are the so architecture means it follows MUT architecture, guys. Discuss models completely, views completely, templates. We'll see all one by one, right? Fine. Now let us start with Django features, guys. Let us start with now Django features. Okay, right. So Django has a lot of features, guys. Django has a lot of features. Okay, out of all the features, there are top 5 features are there, guys. We'll see first of all top 5 features of Django. Top 5 features. These top 5 features are recommended by completely Django developers, right? And in interview also, first of all, we have to specify these 5 features initially. We discuss now around 10 to 15 features. Out of all, in interview compulsorily we have to specify these 5 first of all, right? The top 5 features. The first one is fast. The first one is fast. Means it's very fast. The question is, what is the meaning of fast, and how can we say it is very fast? It is very fast, right? Now, all of you observe, guys. Now, just all of you observe here. If you see this picture, all of you observe, guys. Now, see these websites are before or without framework. These websites are with the framework, right? Observe guys now. These websites are without framework, and these websites are with the framework, right? With the framework. Now observe here. So by using this Django framework, if you create any website, it has taken the very less development time. Means we have the very fast development here. We have very fast development. Why? Because lot of code is default code, and I am adding very less code, guys. Here I am adding very less code. That's why it is a fast development, or you can say rapid development. Django supports fast development, or you can say rapid development, guys. Now you can say here fast development or rapid development. Django supports fast development or rapid development. Okay, right. Then, and here I want to say one point here. Allah observe now. Django was designed to provide flexibility to the developers to design the project from concept to completion as quickly as possible. Allah observe guys now. Django was designed to provide flexibility to developers. Why? To design the project from concept to completion as quickly as possible. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of from concept to completion? Can anyone guess now? What is the meaning of this one? From concept to completion. Can anyone message now? Can anyone reply? What is the meaning of this one? Can anyone just guess it now? What is the meaning of from concept to completion as quickly as possible?
Is it full stack development from scratch to end?
From concept to completion. That means if you see any project, on one day we get the requirement. And some other day it will complete. Maybe after 1 month, after 5 months, or 1 year, it will complete, right? From concept means from the date of from the project start date, right? From the project start date to completion means up to project finish date, right? So it takes a very less time between these two dates. From concept means the time of requirement, the starting date, right? And the finish means the time that project is finished. Between these two dates, it takes very less time. As quickly as possible to finish the time between these two, right? The time of project started the data and the time of project finished. Okay, these two in nothing but one from concept to completion, from the date of project started up to date which one of project completed. It will take very less time. That means it will finish as quickly as possible from concept to completion. Okay, right. So finally we can say that it will take a very less development time. That's all. Means it makes very fast. It makes very fast development, right? Second feature is now all of you observe here fully loaded, right? Can anyone tell me now by seeing the previous picture? By seeing this previous picture, now you can see I told you here completely this one, right? This one completely loaded with common factors. with all common factors, right? Means the Django is completely loaded with which one? With all common factors. What are the common factors? You can say these are all the names. You can say these are all common factors names, right? I repeat again, all of you observe now. I wrote 2 points here. What's the second point? Observe now. Completely loaded with the common factors. Means all common factors are loaded in this framework, right? In this framework. What are the common factors? You can see those names here, right? That is the which one? Fully loaded, right? Fully loaded. Just observe, guys, here. Observe now. All common factors or components are loaded completely in the Django framework. Like what are those database tasks or database factor? Next one, authentication, right? Authentication, right? Next one, suppose authorization, right? Authorization. Okay. Next one, like cache framework or session framework, right? Session. Okay. Next one, like admin part, admin interface. These all are loaded. There's so many are there. Just I give the few names. Right? There are so many are there. These all are loaded. These all are loaded, right? That's why it's called the fully loaded framework. Fully loaded framework, right? Fully loaded. Okay, right. Next one, guys. What do you mean by framework? Right, guys. Just a few minutes. I'll explain it clearly. Okay. Third one is all of you observe now. It's a which one now? Very secure. Third one is a more secure. More secure. This is what we cover completely in our classes. Just I give the some names here. Just observe now here, guys. This one, this more secure or secure we cover very completely. Okay. Now just observe, guys, here. So Django actually takes very seriously. It takes security very seriously, and also it helps to developers to avoid some types of common mistakes. It avoids some common mistakes by providing some default packages regarding the security. I repeat again. So the Django takes security very seriously, guys, and also it provides some default packages regarding security to avoid common mistakes by the developer while developing, right? Those are SQL injection. Those are SQL injection. One of the packages that we'll see very completely in the previous coming classes. Next one is cross-site scripting. Cross-site scripting, right? Next one, third one is there, which is most important. That is cross-site request forgery. Cross-request, which one? Forgery, right? So this one common regularly we use in our projects, right? So the same one in other frameworks, if you want to write manually, it will take hundreds of lines code. Regarding this one, if you want to write manually in other frameworks, it takes a lot of lines, hundreds of lines. But in Django, just to specify like this only, which one? CSRF, cross-site request forgery token. This is the predefined name. Just to specify like this. We specify like this. That's all. If you specify just this name, then lot of lines are included in this one. Then it's very, very useful in our projects. Which one? CSRF token. That means cross-site request forgery. So what is the meaning of injection, sir? What is the meaning of this scripting? Is all we see in our concept. Okay, right. Then the fourth one is it is a scalable, guys. Now the scalable or scalability. You can say scalable or scalability. Scalability, right? Scalability. So what is the meaning of scalability? Django is a scalable framework, guys. Now, Django is a scalable framework. Now, what is the meaning of scalable? What is the meaning of scalable, right? Now, observe, guys, here. Our project must be in a position. Our project must be in a position to handle any number of hittings at a time also. Again, our project must be in a position to handle any number of requests at a time. Because I give an example now. I give an example. Suppose today I'm developing one website, simplenarayana.com, for example, right? Today I developed. So today the users are in this year, for example, this year, right? The users are just, for example, only 1,000 users, right? So if all 1,000 users are trying to use the Narayan.com at a time, then it must be in a position to handle these all 1,000 requests at a time, right? Next one. Suppose after 5 years, right? This website will get more number of users, guys. Now how many? Around 1 lakh, right? So now, if 1 lakh users are trying to use this website at a time, then it must be in a position to handle this 1 lakh users also easily, without needing any other servers. It must be able to handle this all number of users also, right? And after, suppose I take this year, then it has I'll take, suppose I think 10 lakhs, right? This number is 10 lakhs. Now in this year, now 10 lakhs users are going to use at a time. At the time also, it must be in a position to handle all the users if they try to use at a time also. Right? So this is called scalability. Scalability means it must be in a position to handle all the users. So it is called number of requests, number of requests, right? Number of requests, or you can say these are the number of hittings, or you can say it is which one, traffic flow. It's called traffic flow also, right? I give one simple example, guys. That on the planet, on the world, the busiest website, one of the busiest websites is which one that we know very well. Which one, guys? Tell me now. What is the one of the busiest website?
Google.
One of the right, Google, right? One of the busiest website is google.com, right? Google.com. Now, can anyone guess now? Can anyone guess per a minute how many searches are doing in this website? Per a minute, I'm asking now.
Few billions.
A minute, right? Around 3 millions it is doing. Around 3 million people are doing searches in 1 minute. Means in 1 minute, it is receiving 3 million user searches. But still, it doesn't take the more time. In a fraction of seconds, it gives reply to all the people, right? So now just observe, guys. Now I open the Google once. Right? See, this minute also more number of people using, right? This minute also around 3 million people are using, right? Just I'm taking here just one concept, Django Futures, for example, right? Django Futures. Now observe here. Observe, guys. Now in 1 second, less than 1 second only, see how many results it's found. How many results it found? Check once now. How many results it found? Now how many using currently in this minute? In this minute, around 3.8, nearly 4 million people are using in this minute. At the time also, within the 1 second, it has done this number of searches and given reply to the customers or users, right? Users. Okay. And tell me now, what is the official language of the Google? What is the official language of Google? Anyone guess now? What is the official language of, is it Java or PHP or like Python or C++ or C? Can anyone guess now? What is the official language of Python? This one, Google.
Java. Java.
Anyone other also?
C++.
Java and Python.
C++.
Java, Python, C++. Any other? Tell me now, guys.
For
Right.
searching, they are
Now-
using
Side Python. Python.
Observe now. Asina, what is the official language of Google? What is the official language of Google? Now, guys, observe now. Python is recognized as a official language at Google. Also, two others are there. What is which one? C++ and Java. And Java, right? It's the official language in the Google, for the Google, right? It is one of the key languages Google today, right? Alongside with the C++ and Java. That's why Python is the most powerful, guys. Python language is most powerful language compared to all other languages nowadays, right? Fine. Now coming to our point now. Okay. Now I hope you understood, right? What is the meaning of scalable? Scalable means our website, our project must be in a position to handle any number of hittings at a time. Even though the flow is increasing, the flow is scalable, right? The flow is scalable or increasing, right? It must be in a position to handle. Yes.
Sir,
Just 1 minute. If you are,
so it is used to
If you have-
create all level websites.
just I give reply to all, okay? Just I give reply. Just to post the message, I give reply to all. And just a few seconds. Just a last feature is there. Of that feature, we'll discuss all the notes, okay, guys? Right. Then the fifth one is versatile. The fifth one is versatile, right? Versatile. Now, what is the meaning of versatile? What is the meaning of versatile now? What is the meaning of versatile, right? Like a multi, right? Multiple. See, some people can say versatile actors. Some actors are called versatile actors, right? If you take suppose Kamal Hassan is called versatile actor. Some people call him versatile actor. Or in Hindi, Amitabh Bachchan is called versatile actor. So what is the meaning of versatile? That means that single person can act in any kind of role. Without any hesitations, they can act all kinds of roles, guys. All kinds of roles, right? So that's why they're called versatile actors. Now here, Django is also a versatile framework. Django is also a versatile framework. Why? Because by using Django, you can create all kinds of domain websites. You can create all kinds of domain websites, like insurance domain is possible. Insurance domain websites is possible. Or you can say here government websites can create. So you can say suppose some private sector websites can create. Or you can say insurance domain websites, banking domain websites, or regarding health regarding websites, right? Healthcare websites, like this. All types of websites are done by using which one? By using versatile Django. That's why it's called a versatile framework. Versatile means we can create all types of websites, guys. All types of websites. That's why it's called which one? Versatile, right? Versatile. Okay. Like we can create social websites, right? Like Facebook.com, YouTube.com. This all can be done by which one? Django. So it's called the versatile framework, right? So what are these top five? Can anyone repeat now, guys? What are these top 5? Tell me now. What's first one? We explain now.
It is a fast framework.
First one, which one? Right. Fast framework. Second one.
Fully loaded.
Right. It is a fully loaded, right? Fully loaded. Third one.
It is more secure.
Right. It is more secure. Then fourth one.
Scalable.
It It is a scalable framework, and fifth one is which one?
Versatile.
Right?
Versatile.
Right, versatile, right? Versatile. So observe guys now. In fast, why it is called a fast framework? Just wait, guys. Just wait. Right. Message me now. Message me or anyone speak, because if all speak, then it becomes clumsy again, right? If all try to speak, it becomes clumsy. Others cannot understand. It's better to message. It's better to message. Okay. Tell me now, why it is called a fast framework? Why it's called fast framework? Why it's called fast framework?
It takes very less time to create any website.
Right. Who is speaking now? That person will give the reply. Remain just observe. Okay. Because if one speaks, all can listen very easily. If all speaks, then it becomes clumsy. No one can listen, right? Anyone tell now? Right is fast.
Sir, it takes
Supports
very less
auto.
time to.
Right. It takes less time, right? It takes very less time to develop. So it's called a fast framework. Next one, fully loaded. I explain very clearly here what is the meaning of fully loaded. Meaning of fully loaded, right? I explain it clearly here. Because our framework is loaded with all required factors, right? Okay. Next one, more secure. More secure means there are some inbuilt packages are there, right? Like SQL injection or cross-site request forgery and scripting. These all are there. So it's called a more secure framework. And scalable means our project must be in a position to handle all levels of websites. All levels of websites, like you can say simply low level, medium level, high level. All websites can be managed very easily, right? Next one, versatile here, right? Versatile. So what is the meaning of versatile? By using Django, you can create any type of domain websites, like government websites, like government sector or private sector or insurance domain, right? Like healthcare domain, banking department. These all are possible by using Django. That's why it's called the versatile framework, right? So these are the top 5 features of Django, guys. These are the top 5 features, right? There are so many out there. Still, some other 10 features are there, guys. Now these are the top 5. These are the top 5, right? These are the top 5 features, right? But still, other features also there. Other features are there. Other features, guys. Now other features, right? So here we discuss nearly 10 features again. Nearly 10 features. But in interview, if they ask us what are the Django features, these 5 must be specified in interview. These 5 must be specified, and the remaining, if you say, then it is a very value added advantage. Just don't stop with only these 5. Just keep on explain each one remaining features also. Right? These are all we see now.